Good afternoon, and welcome everyone to the beginners online trading webinar. My name is Danny, and I will give you the webinar today. As you know, as always, we are going to go through a quick sound check to make sure that the sound is in a proper level and that the screen is visible for everyone. So please, if you can use the comment section, the question section to comment that the sound is okay on your end, then I'll know that it's fine and we can proceed. Thank you, Matt. That's wonderful. Who else? Annie, very well. Okay. Munir, very good, very good. So we're simply going to begin. I will explain briefly what will happen in the webinar in each and every step, and then we can hit the road. So initially, we're going to have a nice introduction to the company. Okay, a quick introduction to our services, the website, the web trader, and some of the platforms that we're offering as well. On the second part, it will be more practical. We're going to speak about some things on the right-hand side and on the left-hand side as well. And we're going to go through the toolbar and explain what each function and button is doing. And we're going to take it from there. And lastly, the third part, as you know, it's a bonus. We're not always getting there. That's depending on the time and our progress, which can be perhaps analysis. Okay, but no guarantees. Okay, very good. Speak about. Yes. I'll get to analysis at the end, Jonathan, but no guarantees. As I just said, no guarantees. It's also important to know that any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only. It should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or a suggestion. Okay. Now, it's also a great time to say, guys, the webinar is recorded. So I get this a lot, that people can't stay the whole time, or just people that joined a little later, which is fine, again, because the webinar is recorded. And you can review it later on in our channel, okay, on YouTube. For your convenience, could be even later today, but as I said before, no guarantees. Okay, so I would like to make sure that the webinar is recorded, as I mentioned a minute ago, and I'll be back and I'm all yours. Thank you very much. Excellent. So everything seems aligned. We can finally begin. Like I said, this is the Beginners Online Trading webinar, the Trading Success Blueprint. But even though this is its name, we're still going to learn some very, very useful things, even for advanced and intermediate traders as well. Okay, and like I said, my name is Daniel. You can ask me whatever you want along the way, regardless of the topic that I'm teaching. Okay, you can use freely the question section, and I will review it accordingly. Okay, so we're going to open the webinar, as I said, with a quick introduction. Okay, I would probably suggest you guys to do the same and find yourself a nice place to jot down the notes. Okay. So as many of you know, AvaTrade we are a regulated company. We exist since 2006. We have 9 licenses worldwide. Our customer service here is right here at the bottom left. Okay, you can chat with us or through the WhatsApp, whatever you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and say that this webinar is the platform that we're looking at is actually on the browser. Okay, there is no need to download or install anything to get on this screen. Simply by logging in with your email and password. It's called a web trader. Now, the reason that I'm mentioning it now is because, as I showed, to get to the customer service, you can click on the bottom, just a second, trade there, trade.com, yeah. So as I said, to get to the customer service, you can do it right here, right? But if you don't see the screen, how will you click on the button? You can't. So what you can do is you can contact directly cs@avatrade.com, our customer service, and they will apply it on your account. They can apply the web trader on your account, and then you can conveniently contact them here to get on the chat with them. Okay, regardless. Like I said, this is the web trader It's a wonderful platform. It offers nice variety features, which I'm going to show you for your convenience. Let me just, okay, so beside a customer service, I would just like to mention one more individual who is called Senior Account Manager. Okay, so customer service is going to be helpful with everything's related to customer service, right? Now, if you got something related to trading, let's say calculations or analysis or risk money management, or to be frank, anything that you can think about, just a market review, some things about the platform, anything you would like to ask regarding trading, a senior account manager can be very handy with that. You can get somebody like that assigned in your file as soon as you made a deposit and started moving. Okay, you can check with the customer service if you're eligible, and then ask for a senior account manager to be assigned on your file. Okay, now beside a web trader, this is, by the way, I would like to mention that this is the desktop version. Okay, I'm doing it on the computer, but we have a similar app that is called AvaGo. Okay, I'm just going to put it down here. Okay, which looks, I don't want to say it looks the same, but it looks very similar. Okay, so what you can do is you can download that on the app and do it on the go. And beside a web trader, don't worry, I'm going to expand about the web trader in a minute. But first, I would like to mention the regular, I want to say the regular platform. Well, okay, the regular, I guess a regular thing is not really a bad thing. So we have the regular platforms as well, MT4 and MT5, MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5, which unfortunately they don't include the features that I'm going to show you here on the web trader. Okay, and we also have AvaSocial, social and AvaOptions. Okay, now the huge benefit using AvaSocial is that you can follow. Maybe I should write it down as well. Follow or copy. Come on, copy somebody. The difference is, if I'm following someone, what will happen is I will get notifications with his trades, and I can decide if I want to go with it or not. In other words, I don't want to say it's like a signal. Okay, so I'm simply going to get what my traders is doing, and I can choose if I want to do the same or not. Copy means the same thing, just automatically. So I'm still going to get the information, I'm still going to get the positions, but it will be executed on my behalf. Okay, don't worry, you can still adjust it. The differences between, let's suppose I'm following somebody, I'm here with 10,000, right? But let's suppose I'm following somebody with 100, or let's not exaggerate, let's say 50 as an example, okay, or 20 as an example. And he's doing some certain things that could have significant impact on my account, right? So I can adjust it on the app. I don't want to talk about it too thoroughly, so I'm going to leave you guys to explore it by yourself. But I just want to let you know that it's doable. Okay, you can follow, you can copy. That can be extremely handy for somebody who is not fully equipped with the strategy, or with the tools how to trade. That can be extremely helpful. Yeah, that's about AvaSocial. It's free to download, so why not to try? AvaOptions, as you know, this is not AvaOptions webinar, so we're not gonna speak about it too much. I'm just gonna say that it's very innovative, and I highly recommend you to try it if you want to trade options. Excellent. So I would like to proceed right now with the web trader. We're just going to put it here at the bottom, because we are going to carry on with the web trader. Okay. And now I'm going to show you a couple of things here that unfortunately can be only found on the WebTrader or the AvaGo. Okay, so for that, actually no, I want to show you something else a little bit. Okay, let's go back to where we were in the beginning. I guess this is what you see when you, but I want to take you somewhere else just to show you how you can get back on the screen. So let's suppose I've got to here somehow. Okay, I did get to here by clicking on Discovery and Analysis Views, but let's suppose that I want to go back to the default screen. Okay, so what I'm going to do, as you can see, you guys may need to excuse me sometimes because I'm not feeling perfect, unfortunately, so I have to take this tiny breaks to take a sip sometimes. I apologize in advance. Okay, so to get to the main screen, what you can do is you can click here on AvaTrade Trade with Confidence, and it's going to throw you back to the default screen. Now, why am I telling you this? Because what I'm going to show you is the signal section, and to see the signals, okay, so we went back here. This is the default screen. I'm going to click here on the two tiny arrows. For some individuals, it's going to be folded anyway, okay? But I'm going to show you how to minimize the screen or expand it all the way. And that's by clicking here on the two tiny arrows. Okay, maybe I should hold it down a bit. There we go. See, there is a toggly thing here. There's 3 lines. I can click and drag it as I want. And then I can see the list here. Light blue icon. And if I click it, it's going to open me the signal. Now, this is one way to get to the signals. Okay, as I showed you, so I went back to the, let me just show you that again. Okay, so I was here, I folded it down, then I can pick it from the list, no problem, very easy. The other way around is to get to the signal section itself, right? Here at the left-hand side, I'm gonna click on signals, and we are, oh, something here has happened, just a second. Let's fold it down, there we go. Right, so on the signal section, that used to be a little different. Just a second, guys. Could be that I have to get rid of the menu at the bottom, because clearly it's not allowing us to see what we want to see. Okay. Well, okay. So I guess we did change it a little bit, but it still looks very similar to what it was before. You can still see the list here. The difference is, if I'm looking at the signals from the outside, right? And I want to look at, let's suppose I'm more into Forex. Okay, let's go to Forex. Let's go with the majors. And let's go with USD CAD, okay? USD CAD, okay, that's US dollar versus Canadian. We're gonna hit the lightning, like I said, the signal section, the signal icon. Then we're gonna expand the chart, no problem. Now, when I'm looking at it from here, it's going to show me where when it was produced. Okay, now the problem is that sometimes when a signal was produced too long ago, okay, let me from the beginning. I'll explain to you in a nutshell how the signal is built, and then you'll understand the meaning of what I'm explaining you. Okay, the signal was produced upon a certain price. When I'm comparing USD versus Canadian, what I'm actually comparing is what's the value for $1 for one USD dollar versus Canadian dollar. So this is practically how many Canadian dollars I need to sort of pay to get one US dollar. Okay, so obviously the US dollar value 1.35853 more than the dollar, more than the Canadian. Okay, now the more the US dollar will weakening against the Canadian, the more this comparison will be smaller. In other words, well, I guess we're not gonna find it unless we're gonna go a decade backward. Just a second, guys. Yeah, so anyway, the point is that when I'm looking at this signal, okay, was produced on a certain price, and on that certain price, on that certain difference between the US CAD, there are certain levels that we have expected that will occur. Now, according to that, automatically, the signal is suggesting you take profit and stop loss. Okay? Now, if I'm taking a signal that, let me explain to you first what that means, stop loss and take profit, and then we can proceed. So, as I said, this signal, what it does is it's offering me analysis pre-made, okay, allowing me with only 3 clicks away. Just look how simple that is. I'm gonna click on this, then I'm gonna click on that, sell or buy scenario, and I'm ready to hit the road. However, I wanna make sure that this is valid. I don't wanna execute a position and later on find out I haven't do the right preparations, isn't it? So how do I do the right preparations? One of the things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna compare the ratio, my risk reward ratio. In this case, I can potentially lose 92 and gain 40. Okay. Now I'm gonna be gentle and say that this is a ratio that not everybody would have agreed to. Okay, and I'm being very gentle, so I can adjust it. I can maybe increase it by a little bit. Are we with a buy? Yeah, we are with a buy. Okay. Now, the more I will increase, the more I will increase, the more my profit potential profit will increase. Don't worry, it's showing me the result in Canadian dollar and my account is in US dollar. Otherwise, this would have been accurate. Okay? Now, why is this important? Because when I'm choosing a signal, one of the things that I'm going to look for is when it was produced. And then I'm going to compare the levels that the signal expected that will happen. It's also simplified as support and resistance. Okay, resistance will be my higher edge points. Support will be underneath the price. Okay, and I want to know that when I'm taking the signal, let's suppose that the signal was produced somewhere here. Okay, somewhere here is what happened to the price? Just a second. There we go. Let's suppose that it was produced here, and I'm looking at these levels. Obviously, it already passed a certain level, right? It passed a certain mark. So maybe it's not as attractive as I would want it to be. Okay, so I would rather take a signal that fulfill my expectations. This is an example. The market has already reached a key level, right? So if I'm going back to our USD CAD, let me just find it here. Okay, I'll go back to the EuroCAD. No, I could just as well search it, right? But it's not going to show me to pick the signal. This is why and rather do it manually. There we go. And now, when I'm making this comparison, and I don't like the ratio, maybe let's go with a sell scenario, just as an example. Okay, maybe this ratio makes more sense to me. Now, this is one of the things that I'm checking. So I said the ratio is one of the things. Let me explain to you what the take profit and the stop loss does, and then it will maybe it will shed some light on what we're doing here. Right? So take profit is actually what it does if it gets to the price that I've marked, which apparent to be, let me just show you. I'm gonna paint it in gray. Yeah, very, where am I? Oh, we're here. Yeah, so as you can see, if it gets to the green line, we're gonna make $100, almost. If it gets to the red line, just a second, we're gonna see where is that. Okay, and we're gonna also change it. Okay, so one of the things is the ratio, right? The other thing, first of all, I want to know, is there any questions regarding the take profit and the stop loss? So take profit stops the position and claim the profit, stop loss stops the position and cut the losses, okay? That means that this is a price, if it precedes that price, I don't want it to go any farther up because we are in a sell. And if it goes down to that level, I can take, like I said, I can take almost $100. Is your tool recommending buy or sell? It's not clear. I'm not recommending buy or sell, Matt, at all. That's not what I'm showing. I'm not showing you how to pick if it's a sell or a buy, not at all, okay? What I'm showing you is how to make comparison, and then if the sell or buy, it's your decision. But I'm going to show you what to check before you're executing the signal. Okay, so one of the things is this nice ratio. So you can adjust the take profit and the stop loss. You don't have to. You can take it as it is. Okay, it's not something I would do. I would probably want to check it before. The second thing is I want to make sure that the levels are still viable. And for that, I see that the validity here is daily. Therefore, sometimes it's like that by default. I'm not even going to see the levels that are here. So to make this comparison, we're going to go to day. The validity here is day. And then we're going to see if it's realistic or not. And then I'll know if the stop loss is too close or the take profit is too close, I can adjust it. But they are prepared for me. They are prepared. Whether if it's a buy or a sell, okay, I didn't place any of the take profit and the stop loss, guys. Look, I'm just clicking here, and I'm clicking sell or buy, and it does that by itself. They're right here. I can adjust it if I want, but I don't have to, okay? So, as we said, first thing, the ratio. They don't need to be by a linear order. I'm just explaining you what you can check, and then later on it's up to you to decide. Most definitely I'm not showing you if to take a sell or a buy. That's for sure. This is depending on analysis, is not something we're doing now. Okay? But it's elaborated here. You can see here, clicking, reading the specifications, long position above 135.4 with target at 136 and 136.2 in extension, showing you here support and resistance, the key level, the pivot point, okay, the last that it was in, and so on and so on. Here it's elaborated. You can also place them on the chart. We're not going to do that now because it will burn a lot of our time. Yeah, this is something you can do by yourself. They're provided by the Trading Central. Okay, so we're going to check the validity. We're going to check support and resistance. We're going to check the ratio here, and we're going to check the time that it was produced. The same I'm not always using this metaphor, but I hope it will shed some light. This, the same way I'm not gonna get a bread that was baked 3 days ago versus a bread that was baked 3 hours ago. Okay, I would probably want to get the bread as fresh as I can, right? Because it's much better. Okay, I hope that this metaphor helped somebody, and if not, it's fine as well, because we have to proceed. Yeah. Okay, any more questions about the signals before I carry on to the next feature? Any more questions? Can we get, no, unfortunately, Jenny, this is not available on MT4. Okay, Jenny, this is not available on MT4 or MT5, as I've explained initially. This features which I'm going to show you is only on the AvaGo. It's only on the AvaGo. On the the AvaGo or the WebTrader, but they're not. You cannot find it on MT4. There is a question by Miles. Is there a metric on how effective the signals? No, unfortunately, no. Like I replied to Matt, Miles, this is a comparison you have to do by yourself. I'm not going to recommend you or give you any statistics. This is something you must measure by yourself. But as I said before, I would go for something that was produced, and I've explained the logic on how it works. There's a question by Tobo. Where can I check how the take profit and stop loss is as a percentage of my account? I'm not sure that you can do that automatically, but you know what? Let me just, please, Mr. Tobo Kagustunili, please remind me that question in 2 minutes, if you don't mind. Maybe in 5. Give me like 5. I just want to wrap it up the intro, and then I'm all yours. So I can explain to you what you ask for. I'm not sure it can happen automatically though. Okay, but let's just proceed. For the time being, let's just proceed. As I said, the signal section. Just a second, guys. Hold on. Okay. So as I said, the signal section is right here. You can access it through here or through the lists. Okay, which is technical analysis. Let me just put it down here. Call. However, it's also very important to know how to do fundamental analysis as well. Right? And for that, we also have the news section, which I'm going to show you. Now, how does this work exactly? We have here the news section, which can be categorized to forex, stocks, commodities, and you can see underneath the related instruments. So if, for instance, I'm reviewing this article here, okay? And let's take something that has more than, well, I guess we can have this one, no problem. So let's suppose I'm reading this one, okay, and I see it's related to some indices and whatnot, and I want to know what can I trade with it. Okay, what relation this article even have? So in here at the bottom, it's showing me that it's related to the Australian and the dollar, and it's related to the euro and the dollar. If I'm looking at oil is self-explanatory. This is what I didn't want to show you that. This is also no. Okay, sometimes you can get lucky and you can get two birds. Oh, there we go. 4 birds. 4 birds with 1 stone. Look how many good things we can have just from this article. You see? It has impact on the cryptocurrencies, gold, oil, Australian. Yeah, okay. And you can also get the chart from down here. Oh, it took us out. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Anyway, the idea is very simple. You can pick your article, you can read it down, and then it's showing you here what it's related to. And beside that, we have the economy calendar. Okay, so underneath, I'm just going down, right? So we have the signals, we have the news, underneath we have discovery, and underneath that, almost all the way to the bottom, we have economy calendar. And in economy calendar, the idea is the same. We can also filter it to what we want. We're going to click here on the tiny arrow to fold down the flags. And we are going to go with let's see how the yen is doing. Okay. Yeah, basically what we're what we're looking at, we have few ways to filter here the economic calendar. We can either go by how big the impact is, so we have high, medium, and low. Okay, I can also choose it from here, right? I mean, if I want to focus on the major events, the focus on the medium events, or just the light events, and so on and so on. Okay, if I'm not bothered by which event is that, I'm just going to leave it as it is. The other way that I can do it is through the dates. So if I'm looking at not just today, but let's say maybe 2 weeks forward, it's going to show me a whole list of things. What else I can show you here? Okay, just a second. Oh, it's not. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and the way that it's built, okay, so we said we have the high, medium, and low. We have it by the date. We can also add, by the way, we can have another currency, another state here if we want. Okay, and the way that it's built is it's showing us. Let's take this. What are we gonna take? Let's take the retail sales. Okay, and we're gonna see here what happened last time. So this is previous what happened last time, right? We have also the what we expect that will be the result. And we can see the difference. Just a second, guys. And we can see what actually happened. Now we're not going to have the actual until the actual occurrence, right? So we can wait for that. We can wait for that, but we can make comparison between this and the forecast, and then we can approximately know what we should expect. Now, don't take the bigger number as granted. Okay, some reports, the bigger the number, as we let me think of something quickly. Let's say the inflation rate, right? If the inflation rate is higher, that's actually a problem, right? But if you look at the NFP as an example, the more employment, the better. So you can read here. You can read here about what this event is all about, and then you can understand how the impact can be translated to the chart. Okay. You can also click here on impact, volatility. There are nice things here. Very nice things. Okay, we're not gonna delight about it too much because I think we pretty much concluded what we wanted to. Okay, we're gonna go back to our business. Let's speak ourselves with as much as I would want to show you stocks, guys, and I get rain of requests to show you stocks, but I can't because the market is still closed. Unfortunately, it's still closed, the US market. So we're gonna settle with coffee, I guess. We didn't analyze coffee for a while now, right? Okay. Let's see. Just one thing I want to make sure. No, it does look fine. It does look fine. Okay. So, maybe I've opened it a little too fast. Okay, so let's suppose here we are back to the default screen. We wanted to get a nice asset to analyze, but we did it manually here through the lists. Okay, we went down to commodities, then agriculture, then we choose coffee. But I could as well just put here, and okay, we're gonna click here at the top left. I'm gonna just mark it. Oh, sorry, we're just gonna mark it and put coffee, and then we can pick it from the list. Okay, even though we already done that, but I'm just showing you another ability if you don't want to go manually through the lists. We're gonna click sell or buy to open here the nice sidebar. But before we get to that, I just want to cover the toolbar at the top so we can be on the same page from that matter. Okay, if I keep going to the right, we have here the time frames. I don't know if you can see this thin line that I can click and drag up or down. Now we are on days, but I could just as well change it to weeks. Now, what exactly does that mean, weeks or days? What exactly does that mean? Anybody knows? Anybody has any idea what it means, days or weeks? The candles. Very good, Kyla. The candles. So what do you mean by the candles? That each and every candle here is a day, right? This is a day, and this is another day, and this is a day, and this is the difference. Now, I can change it from candles to bars or line, whatever I want. If I keep going to the right, we have here the crosshair. This is how I can verify, by the way. Each candlesticks present perfect. Yes, exactly. Thobo, very good. So if I click here on the arrow and I switch from no crosshair to crosshair, then I can verify and I can review each and every candle and I can look at its specifications and do proper analysis. Okay, this one doesn't allow me to do much more than just to click and drag. Okay, you can just click and drag, but nothing more than that. So I have to change the crosshair and then a whole new horizon. Oh, it could be like that. Sometimes it's a little confusing. You see this tiny arrow here, gray arrow? I click it and it opens the nice rectangle and I can see the candles. Okay, if I keep going to the right, I can split the layout to two assets, wheat and coffee, or whatever else I want. I can also change it. Okay, I can change it by clicking on it and then choosing the asset that I want. Okay, you see this light blue frame here surrounding the chart. Oh, I gotta make sure though that if I'm changing, I'm also changing the sell and the buy, right? We're gonna go back to coffee and we're gonna change it back to where we were. Okay. Here we can have some indicators. We're gonna play with it in a minute. And yeah, in here, the tiny arrow allowing us to leave some very, very, very useful marks on the chart in case we want to remember certain area or things. And because that's not really easy to remember everything in our heads, this could be very useful and save us time for future analysis. because then we can know, oh, okay, we've already analyzed this occurrence, and maybe it could be helpful for us in the future. Okay. There is a question here. Bancole, is this webinar meant for beginners? I don't understand the whole thing. That's because, Bancole, I haven't started teaching anything. Unfortunately, I just went through things just to show you the features and the abilities and the services. As I said, that was the purpose of the first part. And this is a webinar for beginners, but those facilities can really help you later on. Do the analysis, get a nice recognition of the platform, and so on. You're not supposed to understand anything that I've done, basically. But now you will. Don't worry. Play back, give it a few moments. It will be fine. Of course, with pleasure. With pleasure, and I'm happy that you give me this inputs. Because that's the purpose of what we're doing the webinar in the first place. So thank you. And Mr. I didn't forget about you, Mr. Who was that with the stop loss? And Tobo, right? Tobo, that was you. I'm gonna show you now how you can make this comparison in percentages in a minute. Okay. I didn't forget. We're just gonna get rid of everything here all at once. Gonna click here on the two tiny arrows and click clear drawing. Okay, and by the way, for you, Mr. Bancole, the webinar is recorded anyway. So even if you didn't understand what I've explained later on, you can just review it on our channel anyway in your own time, as many times as you want in your own speed. Question from Lirato, can the session recording be available to me? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I've explained. It's exactly what I've explained. That the same goes to you. You're gonna go to YouTube, find our channel, enjoy it as many times as you want, and you can see the previous as well. Guys, I have to proceed. I have to proceed, unfortunately. I'm gonna get rid of all of those nice things we wrote down. And gonna write down our analysis. So we're gonna write down a couple of things that will help us construct the position. We don't have a lot of time, but we can still make it. We're gonna go with T. Oh, sorry, that didn't work well. We should do it this way. There we go. T, M, and U. That goes for target, time. Oh, we should have, I forgot. We should have put it in the other side. Otherwise, it can be confusing. Target, time, movements, and units. And we are already going to put here the nice formula. Okay, don't worry. Still, in 30 seconds, everything will be clear. But now it's not. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is first, we're going to think of a target. We're going to think of a number because we all want to make money with coffee. We're not here just to look at the nice chart. We all want to make money. So this can be any number, but unless I have a number in mind, if I'm going to go with a buy here, let's suppose I think this is a nice trend for some reason, and I think it's going up, right? I take the buy. Will I have any indication where to stop it, what price to stop it, how much I can make, how much I can lose? I'll never know that. I can never know that, right? Now, if I have a number in mind, I can set the take profit and the stop loss, and I can make this comparison like Taba asked and compare it with my balance. So let's suppose that the target in this case will be a round number. We're going to go with $1,000. Okay, and I also need to know which time frame I'm analyzing. And I need to know the time that is available for me to make this $1,000. Maybe I do it in a year. Just a second, Danny. If you do it in a year, you're gonna make $80 a month. That's barely money for groceries, right? So 1 year, what about 1 month? Is that okay still? Not for everybody. Not for everybody. For everybody, that comes down to 250 quid a week. Not a lot of money. 1 week could be better. Could be better. Let's say 2 weeks. Okay, for the sake of the discussion. Now, same reason I'm not gonna go to work and work a whole year to make $1,000, right? Makes sense. Now, the movements. How can we possibly find the movements? So back then, what we used to do is we used to take this nice fellow down here, and I used to measure it. I used to take its numbers. I'm gonna write it down nicely. Okay, we're gonna go with this. Oh, we're looking at days. Okay, I'm gonna change it to weeks. Okay, and we're gonna take last week, this guy. Okay, we're gonna write down its numbers. And hopefully, thanks to that, we can somehow estimate what kind of movement to expect, whether if it's a buy or a sell, right? Guys, to be honest, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just simply copying the numbers from here, from here, right? From here, not doing anything special. And as I said before, the webinar is recorded, so you can just slow down what I'm doing and do it later on in your free time. Okay, and now we're gonna simply do here a quick calculation. Okay, just analyzing the candle, just seeing what happened last week, right? Okay, I'm simply gonna subtract. Sorry, let me get rid of that. 179, yeah. So this is $10 difference. Now the problem is that even if I do that, there's no assurance that this candle by itself indicates potential movement. It's just one candle. So we have an indicator for that is called average true range, and it does exactly what I did with the previous candle, but it does that with, just a second, with more than a single candle. Okay, so we're gonna apply it. Okay, so we have 10 and 10 and a half. Maybe could be satisfying, but we can't rely on a single candle, right? So we're gonna click here on the FX indicators. We're gonna click on type to filter. We're gonna put down AVE, and we're gonna click and drag. Click and drag, and I can choose how many candles I want, if it will be Wheeler, simple, weight, or exponential. If it's gonna grasp Wheeler's means from bottom to top, including what's in the middle. Exponential means that I can predict plus momentum what can be the decrease or potential growth, and so on. And I can choose how many ATRs I want. In this case, we're going to go with 1. And how many candles? Let's say 10. Okay. Now it's showing me that the 10 that we had is actually below the average. Below the average, because it's showing us that the average is actually 11,195. Okay. Now, if the ATR is 11,195 and the movement I would expect is, let's say, 10, I don't have to take the whole ATR, by the way. I don't have to use the ATR to its full extent, because there is no guarantee that it will go exactly the $11 that I'm looking at. You agree with me that it can go to here? It can go a little less than the ATR. Therefore, I can take I can take precautious and say, okay, I will go with only 10, right? Simple. So let's suppose we're gonna, oh, are we with a buy? We are with a buy, okay. So we're gonna go with 10. We're gonna place this guy over here. Just gonna change it to 50. Okay, 50, there we go. I'm gonna make it green. This one will make it red. Actually, we're gonna go vice versa. Yeah, we're gonna go vice versa. I'm not gonna tell you the reason that I've changed it, but it's not really important right now. For the explanation, it doesn't make a lot of difference. Okay, so we have $10 up and $10 down. We have 10 here. Okay, so my question is, how many units must we sell to make $1,000 with $10 per unit? So in here we have the equation, summary. Summary is the 1,000, the target, divided by 10. How much is that, guys? Surprise me, show me how swift you are, guys. So at least I can explain what I wanted to explain, Tobo, to make this comparison. We're gonna also change the numbers, right? So the take profit, when we are selling, our intention is that the value will decrease. When we are buying, is that the intention will, our intention is that the value will increase. So take profit must be lower, 171.5. And the stop loss, 191.5. Okay, no problem. Now, yeah, so we have 1,000 divided by 10 is how much? Let's see together. Frank, good answer. Very nice. Oh, Frank, good to see you. Okay, who else thinks that this is 100? We're gonna do it together now. 1,000 divided by 10 is how much? Let's see. 100. Okay. Let's change this amount lot to 100 and see if it matches our expectation. Which it does. Which it does. I have to tell you guys something in advance. I was aiming to make this 1,000 in 2 weeks, right? So this 10, if it can move 10 in a week, it must have possible. It must be possible for that to move in 2 weeks, right? Right. So I'm gonna put here 100, and everything seems perfect. Now, Taba, your question was, how can I make comparison between the stop loss and the take profit to my balance? How can I compare my potential loss and potential profit to my balance? Okay, so balance of 10,000 versus $1,000 profit or loss is 10%. And if I'll take 10,000 multiply 0.01%, to show me, oh, sorry, too many zeros. There you go. Okay. I hope it helps. I hope it helps somehow. It's this can work with any other asset. What I showed you here will work similarly with any other asset. All you have to do is just get rid of the numbers here. Keep this part, this bit here. Keep the target, time, movements, and units. Keep the equation. Keep the ATR. Just erase the numbers. It will work perfectly fine with any other asset. What else I wanted to show you? Oh, right. One last thing. As you can see here, the value here is an outcome. Okay, so we're looking at the price 181.75, right, per unit. Okay, multiply 100 units equals 18,175. You don't believe me? If you don't believe me, then I'm going to show you. But the platform is doing it for you already. Okay, this is not something you can find on MT4 and MT5, but for your convenience in our website, it's already predetermined. And by the way, I can change the numbers accordingly, and the possible profit and loss will change accordingly as well. Okay, this is a huge time saver. It's a huge time saver if you learn how to utilize with it. Yeah, the reason that I'm showing you this is that this is how you can know how much you're actually going to need to have for this position. When I'm done calculating the value, I'm going to look at the leverage here. The leverage is 1 to 10, okay? And because the leverage multiplies buying and selling, okay, by 10, yeah, it's already written here, right? An option to open a bigger position than your account balance by having your broker multiplying your investment amount. Okay, so if I'm multiplied by 10, that also means that I can just divide this by 10, isn't it? And then, well, in this case, it's here. Oh, right. So let me do it with you, right? So 18,175 divided by 10, 1,817.5. Okay, so margin impact equals necessary amount, open the position. Yeah, there we go, guys. There we go. We practically have a minute or two just to wrap it up. Do we have any more questions about anything that I've explained? And again, let me remind you guys that even if you didn't understand that, and you didn't understand this bit when I've explained about that, you can go to YouTube, you can carry on with ease, lower the speed to half or 75, and watch it as many times as you want until you'll understand. And as I've explained before, this is not for coffee only. This is for everything. Nasdaq, gold, Apple, whatever you want. Basically, whatever you want. There is a question here. Here's another part. Unfortunately, Mitchell, we don't have another part. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'll do the live Q&A. But we're gonna have this similar webinar in a week, but it will be similar content. So unfortunately, no. But you can contact your senior account manager. Yes, the webinars are weekly, guys. But what you can do, Mitchell, is you can contact your senior account manager. It's true that I'm here just giving you the facility, right? But your account manager can go to deeper depths, and he can help you construct a plan and a strategy and give you much more practical inputs than the webinar here, because the name of this webinar is the Beginners Online Webinar, online webinar. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all for coming here today. I hope I could help with at least one thing or more. I wish you all fruitful weeks full of profits, and you're all welcome to tomorrow live Q&A. So have a good week and have a good day.